Happy birthday, Ora Ora Tifrat. That is the music I'm going to be critiquing with Ora Ora Tifrat. Help. Her name is also Jill. This is an awesome song. She's also my sidekick and first wife. This is kind of a slow groove. It's even sad. In Orsina from Twelfth Night says, if music be the food of love, play on. But he gets serious after a little while and believes the music it's sad because it's so sweet. Ferdinand also has his arms in a sad knot from the Tempest, as if he's pouting. Melancholy is another theme of sadness, which was Dr. Johnson's ailment. And Freud wrote a great essay called Mourning and Melancholy. That explains how the patient who is suffering from melancholy is in fact mourning in a sense because they attach themselves to their loss, their loved one, as if it were an object. Richard Burton wrote the book called Anatomy of Melancholy long ago. Loss is a theme of this music. I linked it up with Paradise Lost and with Adam and Eve being expelled from Paradise Lost, but also being expelled is banished. So there are three Shakespeare characters, Romeo, Prospero, and Duke Senior, from different plays were banished. All experienced the loss in this kind of way, and they're all survivors in one sense because they're trying to work it out during the time that they're banished. The hard times that they have. It's a Dickens novel. William Cooper talks about a survivor in the water for an hour and then they drown in his poem Castaway, which could be the hidden title of this poem. Also, Aretha Franklin's I Will Survive song came to mind, although this isn't exactly in that same style. Ishmael from the Bible was a survivor, Hagar's son. Moby Dick's Ishmael was survived at the very end in the coffin of Queequeg after the ship got destroyed by Moby Dick and picked up by Rachel. Job from the Bible was a survivor when Hasatan, the accuser, convinced God to take everything that Job had away, and then finally at the very end, after all this surviving, Job gets his life back in order after having a tough time. Loss is the theme of this music. There's also an element of gain to every loss. There might be a cycle of compensation, which was Emerson's iron law. Wordsworth's crisis lyrics, like the ode to intimations of immortality from recollections of early childhood. Coleridge's Dejection and Ode, both romantic poems with experiential loss. Need is also a form similar to loss, so I linked it up with poverty. In fact, in King Lear, this music has a lot to do with poverty, in a sense of being aware of it. Fortune, that errant whore, never turns the key to the poor, says the fool. The gap between the rich and poor is pretty bad right now, and a distribution of wealth in a better way, Richard Rorty says, would be important because everybody, especially the poor, need love and money as well. Not just love, but money in addition. And so I think that imaginative poverty would be in the form of illiteracy. And I always call the illiterates Autobots because they're lonely and unhappy people. Lonely and unhappy, you have to have both, who keep other people from reading their best. So we don't particularly like Autobots messing up other people's reading.